The following is a CUNY TV special presentation.
Welcome to the Road to the Tonys. I'm Pat Collins.
And I'm Harvey Fierstein.
And let's make that four-time Tony winner, Harvey Fierstein.
Well, you gotta have a hobby.
Yes, you have to do something with your free time. And Harvey and I are here at Hudson Scenic Studio.
In beautiful Yonkers, New York.
And during the next half hour, you're going to hear from many of the nominated stars and see scenes from many of the nominated shows. And one of those shows is Casa Valentina.
Casa Valentina, my first play in 27 years. I've been
know.
writing nothing but musicals, but
it's worked out all right. Yeah, so fine. But tell us about
wonderful.
Casa, and it's based on a real place.
On an actual place, 1962, the Catskill Mountains. There was a kochelein, as we like to call it in Yiddish. It's a bungalow colony with kitchens. And these gentlemen would go up and spend the weekend as women. But they were heterosexual men, white-collar workers mostly. Sometimes their wives went with them. And they dropped the weight of being men and just relaxed. They knit, they played Scrabble. They sat around on the porch.
Now, last year at this time, Kinky Boots was up for many Tonys and won all of them.
Many of them.
And I'm wondering if you were nervous or anxious. It was very competitive last year.
Last year was very well. This year too, but,
Yes,
this year nobody has any sure bets on anything. Last year it was very competitive between Matilda and Kinky Boots, and they're both wonderful shows. I love Matilda. In fact, I stole Gabriel Ebert from Matilda for Casa Valentina. It was exciting. Listen, we're all in the same business together. We're all in theater. Broadway's a small world. It's a small family. We all actually love each other.
It sounds very kumbaya.
Yes, until it comes to awards. And then we get bloody. What the awards do is the awards let us tell the whole country and the whole world that Broadway exists, that Broadway's wonderful. You know, Broadway to me is the heartbeat of New York City. More people come to Broadway and more money is brought in by Broadway than all of our sports teams. And yet, there's not a theater report every night on the TV. I wish there was. Starring her. But put her on TV every week. But we have these sports things, but people love Broadway. There's nothing like it. It's so exciting.
And I think that when people come to town, it really counts if you have that Tony Award. I'm sure that's a way to sell tickets.
Well, it does.
Yes.
It does tell you that this is a show that has the stamp of approval of the Tonys.
Yes, exactly. So we're going to look at.
But no shirkers make it to Broadway. Very few shirkers make it to Broadway.
We're going to look at some of the nominated musicals, and of course the nominated play. But let's first start out with a very well-bred English serial killer. I mean, that's the way to start a show, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a lovely show.
And it's lovely.
It's a lovely show.
It's lovely.
Very sophisticated.
Yes.
They kill people in the nicest ways.
Yes. So let's take a look.
Gentlemen have secrets they must share. Gentlemen have secrets they will never tell. They'll never tell their wives.
A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder has the most nominations, a total of 10, including the coveted Best Musical. It will compete with Disney's Aladdin, which has 5 overall nominations.
Here we go!
In bringing it to the stage, especially with Aladdin, again, this was like, oh, the opportunity is there to get that lost Howard Ashman material. I mean, that was huge to me because there isn't, there's going to be no more of that. And there's a dwindling supply of what we wrote that is unheard. And so much of it was for Aladdin. So that's the huge part of this for me, was retaining the tone of the movie, but also bringing back those smart homages that were the early part of our process and really bringing that to the stage because it was so theatrical. So where the movie became sort of a boys' action adventure with a nice little romantic, magic carpet ride, this is really a true musical theater piece that's winks in all kinds of ways at the history of musical theater.
It's magic, to be honest. It literally is magic. To be able to step on stage every night and play my favorite Disney character in an amazing Broadway musical that has been nominated for Best Musical, and I happen to be nominated with it. I mean, it just can't get any better than that. It also shows that the work we put in really paid off.
The Duke Ellington-inspired review After Midnight with 7 nominations. And Beautiful, the Carole King musical, which also got 7.
You got to get up every morning with a smile on your face.
For Best New Play, nods went to Robert Shackens' All the Way,
It's about those who got more, wanting to hang on to what they got, at the expense of those who got nothing.
Casa Valentina,
We're also under federal investigation, so we'll be in prison long before we're evicted. Can I take your coat?
Terrence McNally's Mothers and Sons,
I know what I did wrong. I didn't go out and find another Andre just as soon as I
I am
could.
not another Andre,
No
Mrs.
one knows that better than I.
It talks about family now and how we've redefined the definition of family in this country for the better. Since I came to New York as a 17-year-old, bushy-tailed, wide-eyed kid, and I love the change our society is making, and I love writing about it, thinking about it, exploring it, and wondering about the future of it.
And the ankles like shackles spilling over her shoes.
John Patrick Stanley's Outside Mullingar,
Maybe you might let him take a look at you.
and James Lapine's Act One.
Just leave me alone.
Don't talk to your mother that
Why do you talk to that way all the time?
Hey, watch your mouth. Now you're Mr. Big Shot. It's still my
Excuse me, I'm going to bed.
Wait!
Harvey, tell us something about this set behind us here at Hudson Scenic
these
Studio.
are little pieces of what will be the magnificent set on the Radio City Music Hall stage that Hugh Jackman will be singing and dancing and standing in front of. I've seen my name in that one. I've seen my name in that one. I've stood in front of that one. One year, Audra McDonald's dress was so long, we were presenting together. Her dress had such a long train, she made me carry her train. So if you watch really carefully, I said, I'm not carrying your train. I put it in my pocket. And we walked out, and if you look carefully, you can see that the train of her dress goes up and then into my pocket. And we stood in front of that.
Now, standing in front of a set just like this, you won a Tony for playing Edna Turnblad in Hairspray.
Yes, I
what
did.
year was that?
1942. No, it was 2002.
Well, there's been a lot of there are a lot of fellows on Broadway this year, and they called for cross-dressing. Yes,
I think actors have figured out if you wear a dress, you get an award. It does work very well. So yeah, we have Hedwig this year with Neil Patrick Harris,
right.
and we have Jefferson Mays in Gentlemen wearing a dress, and of course Mark Rylance was running around in a dress in Casa Valentina. Everyone's wearing a dress except for the women. The women in the show
they're
are
in a
wearing pants.
pantsuit. Right?
They're wearing pants.
What's wrong with that?
Well, more comfortable.
Yes. But what did you find were the physical challenges dressing as a man dressing as a
Edna
woman?
Edna was, you know, a 400-pound woman. So I mean, as big as I am, I added a lot more on me. I went to the malls. I followed women around malls. I'm surprised I wasn't arrested. I followed big ladies. I watched them eat. I watched them eat in restaurants to see how they ate by themselves, and I just and I built the character around the physicality of Edna, because Edna's not a drag queen, you know. Like when I played La Cage aux Folles, she's a drag queen. So
lots
that
of feather
I played,
boas.
but
Yes,
but this is a real woman, and you want to approach it like you approach any role. I didn't approach it very differently than I did Fiddler on the Roof when I played Tevye. You're an actor, you dig and find the heart and find the soul of this person, and then offer the soul to the audience. And this year we got a bunch of actors serving up soul.
Absolutely, and one of them, Neil Patrick Harris.
With 8 nominations, Hedwig and the Angry Inch has competition in the Best Revival of a Musical category from Violet and Les Mis.
For this role, it's a complete and utter shift. I'm playing a biological man, and he's tough, and he's from Croatia. He's very stoic and doesn't show emotion that much, and so to prepare for that, I watched and studied men. I studied men walking and how they were reacting in just regular circumstances on the street and studying their faces, their eyebrows, their expressions, or their lack thereof, really.
Both Hedwig and Violet got Tony nominations for their respective stars, Neil Patrick Harris and Sutton Foster, and their directors, Michael Mayer for Hedwig.
Neil is uniquely qualified for this role, in my opinion. I think he's so multi-talented in all of the ways that you have for a dream Hedwig, because he's so funny, he's a wonderful actor, terrific singer, great dancer. He's got an unbelievable relationship to an audience from all of those years hosting all of these shows and stuff. He really knows how to command
So it's
an
a
audience.
win-win.
It's a win-win.
And Lee Silverman for Violet.
Show that's all about heart. It's all about humanity. It's not a big glitzy musical. It doesn't have a lot of crazy tap numbers and set pieces. There's nothing to hide behind. I mean, it is just the beautiful music and the incredible performances, and I feel like that's actually what people are really responding to, is the heart that's up there and the incredible performances of our entire cast, but led, of course, by Sutton and Joshua Henry.
You gotta give it a roll, man.
I've been getting really great response with this show. It's a phenomenal show, and I'm so glad to play the character that I'm playing and get to sing the incredible songs I get to sing. But you know, you don't count on it because it's you never know. You really, truly never know. But when you know, you can celebrate, and I do celebrate it because it is the, you know, it's the honor of honors to be celebrated by your peers and the people that have such an incredible Broadway community. That feels great.
In the best revival of a play, it's Twelfth Night.
Oh, borrowed. I speak too loud. Where's Malvolio? He's sad and civil and suits well for a servant with my fortune.
A Raisin in the Sun.
This morning, I'm in the mirror in the bathroom. I'm thinking, I'm 40 years old. I've been married 11 years, and I got a boy who sleeps on the living room couch, and all I got to give him is nothing.
We have a cast who is so phenomenal that you know that you're going to hit that ball and someone else is going to spike it over the net or pass it, and every time it's going to be hit harder and harder and harder, and or it'll be the moment where somebody gives it a soft touch that it needs, but you know that your team is top notch, and it's a wonderful thing to be able to play with people like that.
The Cripple of Inishmaan.
From Hollywood, California, in America. They're coming. I'll tell you why they're coming. To go making a moving picture film.
They're there to see this play and Martin's work. I think Martin McDonagh has a huge following, as does Michael Grandage. So there's a few different components there, I think, that are drawing people in. But there's the odd day I can feel them not really liking Helen. I don't blame them. She's infuriating, so.
She's supposed to be.
Yeah, she's supposed to be.
And the Glass Menagerie.
I'll tell you what I wish for on the move. Success and happiness for my precious children.
I feel like Laura Wingfield is very different from who I am as a person, and it was a great challenge to get to play somebody who was really shy, whose sort of internal life was the most active part of her, as opposed to being a more sort of external force.
All four of these plays also got nods for their directors. Tim Carroll for Twelfth Night, Michael Grandage for The Cripple of Inishmaan, Kenny Leon for A Raisin in the Sun, and John Tiffany for The Glass Menagerie.
Best Actor in a Play, that's the category you won for Torch Song Trilogy.
Yeah, that was the first Tony I ever won.
How did that change your life? The play and the Tony.
It was scary. Because I was an off-Broadway actor. I came from experimental theater. The whole world of Broadway was new to me, and all of a sudden, all of that exploded, and it was scary. It was scary.
And did you think, well, all right, this is the beginning of a major career, or did you think, okay, it's a little step?
I had no idea. I mean, everything in my life, I just sort of go with it. I say, oh, that happened? Okay, let's go there. Oh, there's a door open over there? I'll walk through that door. I mean, my philosophy is life is a bunch of people asking you to do things, and it's only as exciting as the times you say yes. Most of us say no all the time because we want to go home, we want to go get a drink, but if you say yes, life changes. If you say no, nothing changes.
Nothing's going to change.
So, yes.
Say yes.
Say
well,
yes.
Bryan Cranston said
yes. He has been having a lot of yeses.
A lot of yeses. Of course, the star of Breaking Bad, making a Broadway debut. And let's take a look at his category, Best Actor in a Play.
Always a competitive category, lead actor in a play, has first-time Tony nominees Bryan Cranston for All the Way.
Civil rights isn't the only thing I'm interested in, Dr. King. We got people in this country living in unbelievable poverty. I know. I grew up like that in the hill country.
And Chris O'Dowd for Of Mice and Men. Plus, Mark Rylance for his role in Richard III.
Beg the death upon my knee. Nay, do not pause.
Samuel Barnett for Twelfth Night.
Above my fortunes, yet my state is well. I am a gentleman.
And Tony Shalhoub getting the nod for Act One.
Good night.
Ultimately, it's a book about, and a play about success and failure and how the two are kind of really interlocked, that you have to fail a number of times in order to really find and appreciate success. And that one success doesn't necessarily mean that you won't fail again, necessarily. So these guys, these playwrights went through that. I've certainly experienced that in my career. And I don't know, it resonated on a lot of levels.
They sell tickets to a play that's not finished.
Now, for Best Actress in a Play, coincidentally or not, 4 of the 5 nominated women play mothers. Now, as a playwright, is there something particularly, is that fertile ground, writing about mothers?
I was writing a lot of off-Broadway shows, experimental shows, and I had this fan. She made me crazy. She was this little woman from Bayside, Queens, who used to come to everything and say, Harvey, I love your stuff, but you gotta write a mother, you gotta write a mother. She made me so crazy, I finally said, you know what, I'll write a mother and shut her up. So I wrote a mother for her, I put her in the show, and that little woman seemed to go on from there. Her name was Estelle Gettleman.
Who
And she
we
changed
know
her
as
name to Estelle Getty. And that's how that all happened.
And you are responsible for her career.
It's my fault.
It's
But
all well.
it was her talent that was responsible for her career. But that's how it happened. She just said, put your mother in the show. And the idea of this little tiny woman being this great big guy's mother, she wore all her own clothes, her own wig and everything.
Do you ever draw on your own mother for ideas, for characters?
I did, you know, because my mother was pretty funny. She didn't like to think she was funny, but she was pretty funny. But we also have Audra McDonald not playing a mother.
Yes, exactly.
Billie Holiday.
And she could make Tony history, and here's how.
In the lead actress in a play category, 5-time Tony winner Audra McDonald scored a nomination for her role playing Billie Holiday in Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill, a play with music. If she wins, Audra will make Tony history, the first performer to win 6 Tonys for acting.
For the crows to pluck.
What are you looking at?
The moon.
She faces tough competition, with Cherry Jones getting the nod for The Glass Menagerie.
Happiness.
Rounding out the category are Tyne Daly for Mothers and Sons,
I don't want peace or closure. That's another word I detest. I want revenge. I'm Hamlet. Take my picture. I'm my own poster. Vengeance.
You won't find it here.
Then where?
I don't know, but not in our home.
This one is especially gratifying because it's topical, smart, funny, new play that challenges people to feel as well as think.
LaTanya Richardson Jackson for A Raisin in the Sun,
And she bought you a house. I'm glad about the house. It's gonna be yours when you get to be a man.
Most actors will tell you from the heart, for real craftsmen, that your validation and the work is in the work, is in being allowed to take someone like Lorraine Hansberry's exceptional words and say them every day in front of an audience and have them feed back to you with their applause and, you know, their engagement of it.
Surprise!
and Estelle Parsons for The Velocity of Autumn.
Set myself on fire.
I will bring the marshmallows.
I want to do something about it.
I understand that. Fight the instinct.
Best Actor in a Musical. You won back in the day for Hairspray. Who's favored this year? Competitive category.
It's a competitive category because you've got two people from one show, and sometimes it's said that they cancel each other out. And then you have Neil Patrick Harris, who has hosted the Tonys a few times and won Emmys for hosting the Tonys, and he's giving quite a performance in a show that he basically carries on his little skinny shoulders. So I think the money's on him at the moment, but they're all so wonderful.
Let's start that category with Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick Harris leads the pack with his Best Actor nomination for Hedwig and the Angry Inch, which collected 8 nominations, including Best Revival of a Musical. Neil's competitors are Jefferson Mays, who plays 8 different characters in A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder.
The transformation is done to me by my extraordinary dressers. There are actually up to 4 people working on me at certain moments of the play. I come off stage as one character, I rip off my clothes, they thrust me into a new outfit, tear off a mustache, slap on a wig, give me a prop, squirt water in my mouth, and push me bodily back onto the stage. And they're like the expert pit crew at the Indianapolis 500. I've never worked with such extraordinary people. And it's also, costume changes, which I wish you could see, have become a sort of ballet. You know, there's music playing on the stage, and we're dancing to it as I'm, you know, arms are coming out of sleeves and hats are going on, and it's, it doesn't stop.
Along with his co-star in the show, Bryce Pinkham.
I am the next Earl of Highhurst.
I have always told people that I imagined this show being created as if Gilbert and Sullivan were bored one night and they called up Charles Dickens and they said, hey, do you like Downton Abbey? And he was like, I love Downton Abbey. And he came over, they binge-watched the first season of Downton Abbey. Stephen Sondheim came in, they took a shot of laughing gas, and then they wrote a musical all night. So I definitely think there's Downton Abbey influences, you know, and that has helped audiences have a way in to, you know, it's easier to describe what our show is like to them. But we're also very distinctly a musical theater comedy, which is unlike anything you'll find on TV.
Rounding out the category, Ramin Karimolu for Les Mis. And Andy Carl for the titular role in Rocky.
Fight without thinking and fight without shame. Fight for your girl and live up to your name.
It's this underdog already, and that's what Rocky's all about. And so when they come in and see, oh, wait a minute, this is an amazing show with a really great heart and the story is intact and you can act it and people are doing really well with it, and I'm having the best time on stage with my cast members like Margot Seibert, who plays Adrian. She and I have this great chemistry where it is like Adrian and Rocky on stage, and we just, you know, let ourselves go. And there's so much heart and beauty in this story that I love it so much that I just lay my soul out there every night. And you know, 20 minutes in, these people are, audiences are loving it for exactly what it is, this incredible theater experience.
Before we talk about the incredible women who are up in the Best Actress in a Musical category, who were some of the leading ladies of the stage? Growing up, who did you see? Who did you love?
I saw them all because my mother would buy tickets. As soon as the show opened, she'd buy tickets for the first row of the balcony. It was $3 a ticket, so it was $12 for the family of 4 to go. And I saw Mary Martin, and I saw Ethel Merman, and I mean, I saw them all. But I have to say, I think that the women in our time now, the women now nominated on a Broadway stage you can see 8 times a week, I think they stack up very well against those ladies.
And here they are.
The field is crowded with leading ladies for the best performance by an actress in a musical. Kelly O'Hara received her 5th nomination for The Bridges of Madison County.
The role that I have been waiting to play my whole life. The music been written by Jason Robert Brown that I've wanted to sing my whole life. The nomination, although I don't know if it should, but it makes me feel validated and makes me feel like I didn't let them down. You know, that I'm I'm doing the role with my heart, and it's paying off a little bit.
And the two-time Tony winner, Sutton Foster, got her 6th nomination for Violet.
His breath is so warm. Mine is short and my ears are ringing. Everywhere my skin is singing. Hour or two to go from down at heel to tippy toe, from no big deal to the star of a picture show.
Wicked Tony winner Idina Menzel is up for her role in If Then. Along with rising stars portraying music legends, Mary Bridget Davis for A Night with Janis Joplin, and Jessie Mueller in Beautiful, the Carole King musical.
We open the show and I start with So Far Away, and there's the beautiful image of Carole at the piano with the hair and everything. And so I always think about that. It's like, well, as long as you don't script these first couple of moments, they're gonna, you know what I mean? They're with me. They want to be with me as the person playing Carole King. But absolutely, I understand the responsibility. I've understood it from the beginning. It was one of the things that I was completely trepidatious about in taking on the role. Was I knew what I wanted it to be, but I wasn't sure how I was going to get there, because I hold her in such esteem, and she has such integrity both as a person and a musician, that I knew it couldn't be any less than this sort of bar I had set for myself. But it's something I'm still working at every night, you know what I mean, to try to make it better.
What? Is it time to say goodbye?
Oh, right, it is. Oh, first of all, good luck to all the nominees, and good luck to my friend, Harvey Fierstein.
Oh, well, thank you very much. It's going to be a wonderful night, and I'm going to be eating ice cream. What about you? Ice cream or maybe popcorn?
I'm going to go for the ice cream.
Ice cream. And jammies. We're actually already in our jammies behind here.
Yes, well, let's not tell them everything.
Have a great time at the Tonys.
Right. And thanks to all the people at Hudson Scenic Studio for all their help. Good night.